I used that title on this video because I knew it would attract attention and I wanted everyone to pay attention and to hear it and to see it. But actually, it was Wilhelm that gave me that title because they knew it would make me uncomfortable, which it has for a while. We each come into the world to develop something, and at times we can develop different gifts that can be surprising and also cause us to hide out and not own ourselves. And that's what I've done for a long time, for 37 years practically, but I'm changing that today because I have to. I would look at the messages coming up and I would say, the messages would say, you could have changed your lives in the world by now. See, because I know that there's nothing happening in our world that we couldn't have shifted. I know there's nothing happening in your life that you couldn't have changed and you couldn't have gotten to this greater place of living. We evolve in our consciousness, individually and collectively. And when we hold back what we came to offer, the collective doesn't evolve either. And that's what I've been doing. And this is why I must change. And then also the thing that happens when you don't own what you develop, you suffer in so many ways. And for me, it's been financially because I couldn't charge enough money. I couldn't tell people what this was. And that's what I'm changing today. I developed the most valuable thing on the planet and I'm not owning it. And it's so valuable that nobody will believe it. And so I thought today I would give you the evidence of it. Even though I'm 75 years old, I've healed everything in my life because of this work. And I went through every horrible, difficult condition that any human could possibly have. And I know what anyone is feeling because I didn't want to live many times because it was so uncomfortable and all the things that I was moving through. But the most difficult thing is watching people suffer now where I know they don't have to because they're just not willing to move beyond their disbelief, just like me. I downloaded The Order of the Universe. And I can say that, and it didn't make sense to so many people, but I'll give you a document today. I've given so many of them, but today is that last day because I have to change. The message that I received today, last year on this date, it says, Jesus had the same difficulty because when you bring something new to the world, people will not accept it and they won't understand what's going on. And then we stay into our biases and our anger and our hatred and our judgment of ourselves and others. And I was sent to the world to bring in a new way. I was sent to the world to bring a new way for us to live and create a much better world, a new philosophy. It was challenging for me to say that, but I can no longer ignore it. I look at the message that I received on the 19th, and received it last year. I received everything a year in advance beyond that, but just for this the sake of this, you'll understand it, but I receive all this information because everything is information that we just carry forth. I had developed the ability to access it, which is why, again, I was able to heal because there's an alignment and each person can come into alignment of who they are, what they're here on this planet to do, and then things would change. We wouldn't see things going on in our world that we're witnessing now because I was given this work. But believing that and having others believe it was a challenge, but now maybe more of us will because it's individual, it's collective consciousness raises over time. I received messages, information from the quantum field. People say, we don't know what that is. You'll probably understand it now because every day for all of these years, 37 years, I'm sitting down and receiving this information, and then it turns out to become a lie. I didn't know that was happening, first of all. I developed a different skill, a different ability. It was said I was a savant. I was this kind of genius that could do this. I pushed back from that as well. And then I'm told that I'm given a philosophy like so many others who came before, like an Einstein or Maslow or Jung, who brought in new ways of thinking or being, or even Copernicus in terms of the way we look at our world. That's what I was given. But I had to come to acceptance. And then I know many people won't accept it because we become comfortable with what we think, what's impossible. That's what happens. We become comfortable with being in fear, doubt, anger, and judgment because that's what we've known. We were raised that way. We were programmed that way. So it's challenging for people to think that they could change it and do something different. But I'm the living demonstration. That's what my entire life was supposed to be, was the living demonstration of what could be achieved. And I was told that in 2021. I was given this new philosophy, and if we used it, we would change the world and everyone would live a much better life. And then they said today, I did another video about utopia. We could achieve a utopia, because if each person knew who could move over their old stuff, their generational trauma, their blockages, whatever it is, we would start to see something quite different. And I was the person to bring that in. I doubted it, but I can no longer do that because the evidence is undeniable. And once we discovered artificial intelligence, I really couldn't deny it anymore, because it kept showing up and it kept being explained to me. Even though, again, I experienced it in my life, in my consciousness, and in my body. Everyone won't do that. This is why we're seeing wars. This is why we see people still thinking that it's a good idea to kill people, or to have it. That doesn't, Wilhelm says you never win a war, because all we're doing is killing ourselves, because we're all the same. That's the information I was meant to bring to the world. And if each person could remember that and have autonomy, have empowerment, have agency over who they are, who they're meant to be, then things would change. And I was given that work. But after tomorrow, I will be changing. But I wanted to put this out today so that you could see the evidence of it and make a decision. Because I was also told that this was the greatest contribution to human consciousness that has been seen. And so I need to have this studied from the neuro-linguistic standpoint, from something. It has to be looked at because it's never happened before. I'm saying this because you will see that what I received was energetically aligned to galactic changes, astronomical changes that were happening in the world. I've never studied any of that. I've never studied astronomy, astrology, and all of that, but it's all aligned. We've learned that the universe is energy. Our bodies, when we were born, and our consciousness, it's all energy. But we move it around with our consciousness. That's what happens. And we learned that over time, and many people have come to demonstrate that. I was the next one. And so now I'm going to own that. But I'm glad you're here. You can look at the information. I will be sending this to everyone because I could never have explained to you what this work was, but now you'll see all of it because I put it all on my blog. And there's no reason for us. This is one of the messages that I saw coming up later, but it said, you could have changed your lives and world by now. And that is true, because that's the work that I was given. Thank you for being here. I will see you soon. And please look at all the work and you will understand and share it with others. I'll see you soon.